time for Danny Bonadici, Life Coach, and here we go. You know what I like about Rick Jones? It's, by the way, it's brought to you by Goldberg Jones. Divorce for Men, call 1-800-DIVORCE. One of the things I like, it's not the special divorce edition. You can call up with any problem you want. I just happen to have, I noticed, God, a couple of years ago, a third of my questions are, why can't I get my child support? Why did my ex-husband and or wife take my child over a state line and I can't get them back? And I can tell you, because I've read, here's what you should do. Lawyers can tell you how to do it. There's a huge difference between knowing what you should do and what will be right, and what papers you need to form and what building you need to take them to and what the address is. So Rick Jones has decided to come in, and so any question you have, if you have a kid that's on drugs or something like that, or you think you've reached the glass ceiling, your boss is keeping you down, that's still open. But if you have a marriage or divorce or child custody related question, Rick Jones of Goldberg Jones at 1-800-DIVORCE is in studio. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
I know we have limited time, but can I pay you a quick compliment? I think I paid it to you, but you weren't here.
Okay.
You ready?
Sure.
All right. Great lawyer. We all know that. Everybody talks about you. You don't just show up on the day about it. You can say you're great. I really do, believe it or not. I mean, I may be a complete geek, but I have standards. And the fact is, here's why Rick Jones, I'm a bigger fan of Rick Jones than I was. Great lawyer, man. You study, you go to law school. It's a big hassle. And then you deal with family drama all day long. On top of that, he comes in here last time, takes off that, as long as I'm just going to be honest with the guy, takes off that ugly leather jacket he insists on wearing and sets it down, and he's half the guy he was. He's lost. How much weight have you lost?
Oh, somewhere about 45.
Jesus. So you get a guy that put himself through law school, kicks ass, made a huge firm, and has the discipline to drop 45 pounds. That's your guy. And that's my compliment. I'm not trying to sell you or anything. You're right here. I just want you to know I think that's awesome, and I'm personally proud to know you.
Much appreciated.
No sweat, dude, because I know how it is. I'm on a diet.
Tapeworms are undervalued.
Maria Callas did that. Didn't work out very well. All right, let's just jump to the phones. It's funny because Rick Jones is here, and like I said, he's great. He's going, some of these questions are simple. Some of these questions are hard. Bitchin'! Got Rick Jones up against the ropes, not even fighting him yet. We'll start with line 3, and it will be Carrie from Everett. Carrie, what can we do for you? And I think this is this a divorce or child support question or something like that?
Yeah, child support issue.
All right, here's what I learned last time that I just wanted to show off for Rick Jones and then say, is that right, Rick? Why don't you just ask Rick directly?
Okay.
Sometime today.
Yeah, Rick. Back about 17 years ago, I had a child support issue, and the child support services basically said if we notarized a document saying that we would be responsible for our son, if each party had him, they would close out the file and there would be no more support. So we did that. And about 10 years later, after not paying any support and everything, she came back from a loophole saying that it was never signed off by the judge and hit me for support for the previous 10 years and interest to the state, so that it went up to like $60,000. And I was a young guy, I didn't know, and just curious if there's a way around that.
And by the way, Rick Jones, I'd like to point out that sometimes callers call up here and just start talking on the radio, get nervous, and don't make a lot of sense. Did you understand that?
I think I did.
Okay,
I think
good.
I did.
Okay.
But unfortunately, one of the problems is that you're probably blessed with about 85% of the information, and the 15% that's missing is the important part. You were talking about a document that was submitted apparently at the state's request that was supposed to be signed by a judge or a commissioner or somebody with authority. And if, in fact, it never was, it may not, especially for contract purposes, it may not have created anything that's enforceable. Now, there's still what's called an equity argument to make, which is a tougher argument to make. It still means that there's an argument, but there's a little bit more to know.
Now, without knowing you, Carrie, who I love and adore, I'm going to say there's an equity argument to be made that's probably not worth the cash. It sounds expensive when he said it's going to be more difficult to make, in my estimation, unless it's a vendetta or something like that. that you should probably not go after it, this child support thing. But also, and you were saying this because you were looking at some of the lines off the phone, what about the statute of limitations? Is there a statute of limitations involved in this?
Sure. Well, a statute of limitations
I have no idea. I just know that they started garnishing me again. And when I went down there, they said that I had to, prove it.
That's why I got a famous lawyer in the room. I wasn't talking to you. Rick?
No, Kerry. Well, a statute of limitations is basically a law that says you only have a certain amount of time to pursue a legal action. And the intent there is to be able to have some certainty and to close the books, if you will. Now, the statute of limitations when it comes to child support has been an ever-moving issue for the 17 years that I've been practicing. So it really depends on somebody taking a look and going back and finding out when your original child support was created, look at the age of the child, and then apply it to the statute that existed.
So even if it's 17 years old, as he has said it is, there is a chance that he could get some comeuppance, that he does have a case.
There certainly is.
Good job, man, and thank you very much for calling Danny Bonaducci, Life Coach. I appreciate it. I don't want to call it the special divorce episode of Danny Bonaducci, Life Coach, but we do have Rick Jones of Goldberg Jones, 1-800-DIVORCE. If you have that kind of question, this would be a good time. If you have a drug question, it might be time to ask me. But there's other stuff I know, like how to drive at 4-speed. Anyway, give me a call right now. Let's go to line 4 and talk to JC of Bellevue. What's up there, JC?
What's up, guys? How's it going? My morning crew.
It's all going great, man.
Good morning.
Cool, thanks.
Good, I'm glad. Hey, Danny, you know what? I have been homeless 4 or 5 times and have rebuilt my life, so I can relate to everything you said.
You know, that's how I did the life coach thing. When your life falls apart and you build it back up and it's a little better than the last time and you do something else stupid, proving that you're continuing down this road of destruction, then you do it a little bit better. Eventually, when you stop the destruction, you know a lot of stuff people don't know. And that's how I got to be a life coach, so I'm cool for you. What's your question, JC?
My question is, I have a son who will be 4 on the 18th of this month.
Happy birthday.
His mother has done her best to keep him out of my life. I have no phone number, no way to contact him, no address, no anything. She has told me she's been in Montana, Oklahoma, Wyoming, and come to find out...
Boy, she goes to the winter states, doesn't she?
Right?
So what do you want to know?
Well, come to find out, this whole time she's been in Longview, and I want to know if there's any repercussions I can cause her for keeping my son away from me, since I have been paying child support and doing my fatherly duties.
Well said. Okay, Rick Jones?
Well, as it stands right now, no, there's no recourse, but there still is a course of action for you to take to get to the point where you do have recognized rights.
And what would that be? What was like the quickest version of what he can do so he has his recognized rights?
You need what's called a parenting plan. That's ultimately the document that defines what your custodial rights in relation to her are and in relation to your son.
So she can whip all over the United States of America to accept his child support money without having to give him access to said child, and that is legal.
That's right. She hasn't violated anything.
Can I tell you something, man? And I actually don't love this because the whole bit is that I know everything. That one threw me a little bit. That's outrageous. That's unfair, and that's unbelievable. And that's why you need Rick Jones. And you know what? Just so I'm not some kind of complete whore, which I am, and don't mind saying so. But you need any really top-notch family attorney. There happens to be one right here. But I didn't know that this bitch is going from state to state, crossing state lines, accepting your money, and you get none of the affection of your child. That's outlandish to me. You need to call a lawyer right now. Again, he is the sponsor, but what the hell? He's also really good and lost 45 pounds. 1-800-DIVORCE. Ask for Rick Jones or Bill Goldberg, the one that turns out not to be the crazy-ass wrestler. All right, let's go to Matt on line 4. Hello, Matt.
Hey.
What's up?
So, I guess I got a question. Mine's maybe easy, maybe not, but I have already settled my divorce probably 2-3 years ago. I have my daughter about 40% of the time as far as anyone's math is concerned.
Awesome. That sounds nice.
Except for the court. They think it's like 20-something because I'm not the custodial parent, so I don't get credit for when she's at daycare. My ex-wife does.
Right, and your wife's a crackhead anyway.
So my curiosity is, what are the odds that I can go back and adjust and get residential credit for my daughter, also based on the difference in income, the drop in income, because I was in a different line of work.
Now, can I try something on this? Run this by. It's more of a question. I realized that I was being stupid. I do know a lot of stuff. I've been through divorce several times. I've been through custody several times, and I do know some stuff. And I was showing off for Rick Jones. This is more of a question than showing you what I know. I would like an answer to my own question.
Bring it.
And that is when your child, let's say, I'm making, let's just pick a number that's super easy to deal with. I'm making $1 million a year, and my income drops down to $500,000 a year. Here's what I've heard. That's why I'm making it a question. Not even a question, it's a rumor. I've heard, really, to go back and tell a judge, I've lost half my income. Can we lower my child support? That the judge will almost always say no, that they don't like to rescind their orders. Is that true?
Well, it's true with the example numbers that you just gave. Going from $1 million to $500K is not going to be viewed as sympathetic at all. But if somebody goes from $100K to $50K, or better yet, $50K to $25K, then there's certainly an
better
avenue.
for who, you lunatic? Hey, if a guy goes from $1 to 80 cents, yeah, that's a lucky break on that guy. No, okay, but no, I see what you mean. I was just thinking, because giant numbers are much easier to deal with. So, okay, when my lawyer told me judges don't like to rescind their order, like when you go back, if you're making more money and she comes after you, he probably won't give her more money. But if you're making less money and you want your child support lowered, he probably won't give that to you either, because it was neither of your fault. It wasn't your responsibility. It was not her responsibility that you lost your job or you got a huge cut in pay. So when somebody wants more or less money, that's not that easy to do just because they're getting more or less money. Is that correct?
Right. Well, it's still swimming upstream. So, it's not a slam dunk. But the good news for everybody listening out there is the ability to appeal to the court. Not even appeal. It's what's called a motion for adjustment. And the courts recognize that a support order can exist for 18 and even more years than that. So they're certainly aware that as long as you're not going to the well far too frequently, they're certainly willing to look to relevant information.
They are for real. A judge will go and say, hey, this doesn't seem fair. Because this is what I say, and it's not because of divorce court. I didn't even see a judge on that one. But I have seen other judges and other reasons. And here's what I have found, what I thought was amazing. They're guys. They take off their robes, which is, I think they're weird that they wear dresses and have hammers. But anyway, they're guys, and they want what's right, and they use common sense. Sometimes there's things in the law books that say a judge has to do that and has no leeway. But when a judge has leeway, they're just guys named Steve, man, who have to go home to their family. And if you're getting screwed over, that guy is going to go, that guy's getting screwed over. That's not fair. Have you found that, Rick Jones, have you found that to be your experience? That judges are people, too, and will do what's right if they're not breaching the law in any way?
Absolutely. There's no question that their heart is always in the right place.
Is that true? You believe that to be true, that judges' hearts are in the right place? They want to do what's right, or they wouldn't become a judge?
That's right.
Now, because you were not my divorce lawyer or my family lawyer, because this was done in L.A. and years before I met you, but my lawyer... Gail is her name. She was rather insistent on being called a family lawyer because she thought divorce was egregious and wants what's best. So even the people you think you want to go, oh, those sharks, even those guys want what's best. You told me this at your own house, that you wanted, don't get all involved in that. Let's just do what's easiest and best for everybody. It'll cost you the least amount of money and everybody in the long term, because right now you're just mad and you want to kick someone's ass. But when you calm down and you're not mad, you'll have spent the least amount of money and you'll have equal access to the child or whatever it is, and you'll be pleased that you didn't go after the jugular vein. So that even makes you guys really nice, decent guys with your heart in the right place.
And it sounds so much better when you say it.
It does sound better when I say it, because I wouldn't believe it if somebody said to me, Rick Jones, a shark. I'd believe that in 2 seconds. Rick Jones, sweetie pie? You have to be convinced, but I am. You're a great guy and a great guest, and I hope everybody feels their questions were answered. That's Rick Jones from Goldberg Jones, Divorce for Men. If you have any other questions or if you're going through something, you're going through a divorce, and you want to know what to do and where to turn next, this is the easiest phone number in the world to remember. Call 1-800-DIVORCE. That is 1-800-DIVORCE, and that's Bill Goldberg and Rick Jones, and I'm sure a bunch of other lawyers because it's a law firm. So that was Danny Bonaducci, life coach. Coming up next, the Filthy Forecast.
The Danny Bonaducci and Sarah Morning Show on the home of classic rock, 102.5 KZOK.